World War I. World War I has many ideas that would make good History Day topics. First, let's look at the use of poison gas. For those interested in weapons, the use of poison gas in World War I would be a great History Day topic. By the end of 1914, the Western Front was in a stalemate which would last for 3.5 years. Trench warfare as a technique was not decisive. In an attempt to find some advantage, French and Germans began to experiment with chemical weapons that were designed to injure and irritate, not kill. By April of 1915, chemical weapons turned deadly with the German introduction of chlorine gas at the Battle of Ypres. In response to the poison gas, the French fled. Later, the British and French would introduce their own poison gases, and in response, all armies created protective gas masks with respirators for breathing and did drills. While psychologically terrifying, poison gas was unable to break the trench lines. And following the war, the use of poison gas was outlawed under the Geneva Protocol. Next, let's take a look at the Hello Girls and communication in the battlefield. When General Pershing arrived in France, he discovered that communication systems were old-fashioned. Using new technology surrounding the telephone, Pershing envisioned using telephone operators, mostly women, and lines to help connect command with the Western Front. Advertisements asked women to do their part in the war effort and apply today. Applicants needed to be able to speak both French and English. More than 7,000 applied and only 450 were chosen. The Signal Corps Female Telephone Operators Unit was created in 1917 and trained at Fort Franklin. They arrived in Europe to face their new responsibilities on the front lines and did quite well. In France, they served in over 75 different locations, and in England, 3. They served in war zones alongside their military compatriots. Pershing credited them with improving communications and helping the American Expeditionary Force to success. Now let's take a look at the Harlem Hellfighters. The Harlem Hellfighters would make a great History Day topic. You may remember this from class. The Harlem Hellfighters proved their worth despite discrimination and being undervalued. They arrived in France to discover themselves assigned to essential duties, not combat, simply because they were African American, and they were already in segregated units under white command. Under pressure from the French, due to their need of resources and soldiers, Pershing assigned the Harlem Hellfighters to the French, who held no such qualms about using the African American soldiers. They excelled in their new combat responsibilities. The unit spent 191 days in combat, more than any other unit. They played a crucial role in the Battle of Chateau Thierry and Bellevue. The French recognized their contributions and awarded 171 different Croix de Guerre medals to the Harlem Hellfighters. News of their exploits reached the U.S., and they returned home to a hero's parade. Finally, we don't have time to go into this, but there are many other great topics in World War I, including the Food Administration, propaganda, which both ask United States citizens to take on the responsibility of helping in the war effort. Or you could look at the Treaty of Versailles and failed rights. Don't hesitate to ask questions about the topics of your history teacher.